Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Kartika Naya and you're watching Synchroshakti. Today we are back for another inspirational interview. Today we have a very special guest, someone I actually work with. His name is Chai. He does digital marketing and he's very, very passionate. Hi Chai, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you? Thank you, thank you, thanks for having me.
Most welcome. So Chai has a pretty roller coaster story to tell you guys about his journey. I know bits and pieces. Actually, Monica, who's someone who also works with us in our team. Chai is Monica's brother, and she's been telling me so much about him, and I've got like glimpses. I'm also excited to hear the whole story. So, Chai, please go ahead and introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and tell us your story.
Oh, absolutely. Again, thanks for having me, Kartika. It's really a great pleasure. And I'm a digital marketer and a business coach, and I live in Australia, and I've been living in Australia for the last 8 years. And I love digital marketing, and I've also invested in multiple companies.
Superb. So tell me your story. How old are you right now, if I may
I'm
ask?
29. I'm 29.
29.
Yeah.
So when did you get started with your passion for digital marketing?
About when I was 24, 23. Yeah, around there. And I've just got this. I don't know. The whole digital world is amazing. It's so good to learn and it's growing.
Yeah, I can see you're very passionate. So tell me the whole story. What's been the entire story, A to Z?
Wow. Okay, that's a that's a big question. So okay, it's a bit of a journey, really, and it's a roller coaster, to be honest. And every time I think about it, I have both goods and bads. I cry, I celebrate, I cherish every moment because everything is a lesson. Everything's been a lesson, and it's an amazing journey. There was this thing that's always been in me, and I guess many of you people feel it, that you're not special, like you're not in the group, right? You want to stand out, you want to do something, stand out, just be like a special version. But then I was lacking communication skills. I was not good at studies. I was not good at anything. So this whole process wasn't super easy for me. Although I wanted to do something, I just didn't know what to do. But then fast forward, I came to Australia for my master's degree. I came here and I was sort of doing my studies and all that. And I don't know, there are two things, I'll be very honest, there are two things that changed my life. And before I got these two things, so the backstory was I read this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? I believe many of you would have heard of the book. It's not a book that will motivate you to do something, but it's a very good book that I've read and I've got a bit of exposure. And that sort of put that whole money thing into my mind. And I just realized at that point that, well, I just don't want to be any 9 to 5er where I just go to work, come back at 5, do my stuff, and I just didn't want to live that life. That book has changed my life, but that thing apart, there are two things when I talk about my whole story that I'll definitely sort of talk about these two things, and I'll tell you why they are special and why they're important for everyone. One is my failures. My failures are so big, my losses, my failures, whatever it may be, they're so big that they made me aim for the much bigger ones. Because to overcome those failures or those losses, I needed to aim much bigger, because if not, my life would have been terrible by now. And the second most important thing, my mindset. I'll tell you why these two things are important in my life. After I came to Australia, my life was very normal. I was into digital marketing a little bit. I was learning here and there and all that. And one day, I went to casino. I'm not a gambler myself, but I went into casino just for fun's sake. But I did a mistake. I went there and I tried to gamble. It was just more of a fun sake. But I lost $200. And I was so upset. I was like, how could casino take my money? I went back, I lost 400 because I wanted to get that money back. I went back, I lost $1,000. I went back, I lost 2,000. And then I realized, you know what? I just don't want to, sort of keep losing money. And then I just realized, okay, I'm not going to go back until I have a very good strategy. And then I started doing my own research and I found a very good strategy. The next day I went, I made $13,000 with a very good strategy. literally in one night.
And
That's all what I
one night.
made. But people often do this mistake. In case you know what happens is if you make money, just come out, just never go back. But if you don't come back, you'll start losing money. And that was the biggest lesson. I went back. So I went back. I went back and I lost all the money. And without my knowledge, I actually lost way more than what I've made. So I lost about like $15,000, maybe a little bit more. The moment I lost it, I realized that to make this $15,000 plus dollars in my life, it's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen if I do Uber Eats, if I do delivery. Maybe like in India, you have this Swiggy, Zomato, and all that. Because if I did those things for extra money, it would take at least 4 to 5 years for me to repay that loan, like whatever that I took to invest into casino, the money that I lost. It would take ages. Because of my losses, that big losses, I was thinking big. Well, I had this idea of, hey, how about I do a part-time somewhere, do something. But then I just realized that if I sort of keep doing these mini things, I will never, ever repay that debt, which is a very important thing, and I'll tell you. So whenever you had these failures, the bigger, the better. That's a very straightforward rule. And that's how I take it. If at all, I've done many mistakes. I've gone through many terrible ones in my life, but that's okay. I'm ready to get another one as well. I'm happy. I don't welcome, obviously, but if I get it, I wouldn't mind because it will give me something best. I had this trouble. And then that's when I was like, okay, I needed to do something that gives me good money. I was buying and selling cars. Each car, I used to make $1,000 profit. I used to sell like 3 cars, 4 cars per month. That's like $4,000 apart from what I was making from my, work. That was a very good start. And apart from that, I was actually doing so many other things. I was a tutor. I was helping people with many, basic necessities. I was selling cars. I was selling phones. I was fixing phones. I was doing so many things that would give me money. And this thing, how I wasn't good at communication. I wasn't so confident person. I was not good at studies. Not anymore, because now I'm super confident because as a part of this whole selling process, I spoke to thousands of people on a daily basis, and then that improved my communication skill. So now when I think of my casinos journey, it wasn't bad at all. It was bad at that stage, but it wasn't bad at all. And this sort of changed. Sorry?
Because it taught you so many things.
Yeah, exactly. So if things happen, there is a reason, right? And you have to accept it. That's okay. And trust me, there will be some point in the future, things will change. And because of that mindset, because I got into many things, I was sort of doing it. I was not that person who's working from 9 to 5. I was the person who's working from 9 a.m. until 10 p.m. every night. And I was happy. I was actually happy because that's sort of making me confident. I was like super happy. But then I invested into multiple businesses because I like this, these different things here and there, like this. I invested into multiple businesses and I lost money. Over the years, as I was doing and investing that money back into businesses, at some point, I lost $75,000. I realized that my debt was $75,000. But I was lucky. The moment I realized that, I wasn't dumb, right? I wasn't that person who'd be like, oh no, when am I gonna repay this? Never, ever. Because I'll tell you a few good things that happened in this journey, right? One day I was talking to my sister. She was talking about this thing, law of attraction. I was like, that's, excuse my language, but that's bullshit, I said, look, just be practical, like grow up, these things won't work. And it's not that today I believe in law of attraction and I just, live for it now. But when she was sort of talking about all this, I was like, nah, don't worry about it. And then I found this book online. It's called The Secret. And I don't know, for some reason, I found out that this book is the bestseller. I just thought, okay, why not? Why not? I'll probably read the book through. And before I actually read the book, I actually watched the YouTube video, which is amazing. I read the book, I watched the video. That sort of changed things around for me, right? I sort of implemented, because even until that point, my mindset changed. I was confident, I was doing everything. But The money thing wasn't quite, because I was still in so much of losses. It was $75,000. But then I understood somehow from the book that it's all about the law of attraction. It's no secret. If you think of it, it's all about being positive. And that's all what it says. It's not saying that, it's not a black magic, or it's not a power that you're going to get out of nowhere, right? It's just very basic thing. You just have to be positive. Whatever you say, just talk positive, listen positive, think positive, visualize. That's all. There's no secret behind this. And I did that. It's not that everything changed in minutes or in days, and it's not that everything that I manifested, everything I was just hoping for, just manifested. No, it wasn't so straightforward in all the cases, right? But in that process, when I was sort of reading through this book, and I actually watched a couple I've never told this to you, Kartika, but I've actually watched a couple of videos of yours in probably 2018 or 2019, somewhere around there. Yeah, and then because like Monica shared a few of these videos with me, I was like, that sort of interested me. And all I did was I've changed my mindset from talking about, I have $75,000 debt, to it wouldn't take too long for me to clear that debt off, because I have the capability to attract as much money as I want. I can literally, what I always say this, right? There is so much money in the world. If you don't know how to pick up, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Don't blame anyone. It's all, there is money everywhere. Like, you look on your right, on your left, there's money.
Yeah.
Literally, I can tell you, just with what I have on my table, I can make money out of it. Yeah. That's how easy money is.
Exactly.
So if you don't know how to make money, and if you're struggling, mate, it's just very simple. Just look around you. There's so much money. So I've sort of changed my mindset, and it's not, again, that's what I'm saying. So all of this didn't happen overnight. Took a while, quite a while, but it worked. And trust me, within nearly about 6 months, I cleared $75,000 debt.
You just said it took a while, and then you say 6 months. 6 months is not a while to clear $75,000 debt. People do that. People make $75,000 over their lifetime, and you cleared it off in 6 months. This is the title of this video.
Exactly. Like, I'll be very honest, I couldn't believe it either. No one, like my sister, no one, my family couldn't even believe it, and I cleared it. And do you know how? Because everything that I did over the last few years, I turned them into money. Yeah. Plus, I changed my mindset. I've never been that person, money is hard. I always say, don't worry about money. I'll get it. Don't worry. There are 1,000 ways. I know the fact that I can make money. And today, I'm not even exaggerating, I make $25,000 every month.
At 29 years old, let's just pause there. $25,000 a month. It's brilliant. Yeah. Congratulations.
And I know I can make way more. I'm not going to stop. And that's okay if you have more problems. I'm ready. It's not that I welcome them again. If they come, I wouldn't mind, because I know my tomorrow will be a lot better. So that's how I've it's just been a bit of a journey. There's still so many bits and pieces here and there that I can talk about, but this is the whole story, and definitely wasn't easy.
And I think I just want to interject here. A lot of what you've done for the money has also been things that you love to do. You said that I loved having all of these businesses. I love doing all these things because it was making me money, but also I actually love. I've seen you talk about digital marketing since the time that we were working together and are working together. Your passion, you're like me. I think we both have kind of connected on that level of we understand what it's like to run our own businesses and to be totally obsessed with what we do. I want you to tell me why did you choose digital marketing? How did you fall in love with that specific field? How did it choose you?
Digital marketing will be the next big thing. I'll tell you why. Just a simple example, right? Earlier, there used to be these restaurants, right? The physical restaurants who used to sell food. And because there's one started and then there are others started, right? So now there's so much of competition. Now they're advancing into a mobile phone where Swiggy, Zomato, you can actually order food, right? Just before this, these restaurants used to deliver food themselves, right? And then the advancement of that is now because the world knows that everyone has a smartphone. Now you can order food. Now when Swiggy or whatever, whoever started first, now when Swiggy started, there's Zomato. And I don't know in India if there are any other, maybe Uber Eats and all that. In Australia, we have like 6 in total. And now there's this other new business where you can actually compare prices between Uber Eats, Zomato, Swiggy,
That's the
whatever it
next
may be.
level.
And I'm
So that's
sure
one of
there'll
the
be
next
many other
levels.
businesses. Exactly. So
Yeah.
the digital world will just keep growing. Like no doubt. That's how it's gonna be. And there was this thing, and that's one of the reasons why I really want to start a business in India, especially where I teach people how to do the digital marketing, right? One big thing. There are 150, nearly 150 million businesses in China for a population of 1.4 billion. That's about 1 in 100 own a business. And in India, we have 1.38 million businesses for a population of 1.38 billion.
Yeah.
That's 1 in 1,000 own a business. 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000 own a business. It's very clear that India is way behind, right? In China, you have millions of businesses everywhere. India, we lack it. But guess what? What's the happiest part that we all have to be proud about? Over the last couple of years, there's been a 20% increase in the whole businesses in India, like startups, 20 times, sorry. So, meaning India is just waking up. India is trying to start building, and I'm sure over the next couple of years there will be millions of other businesses. And I know that all these businesses would need digital marketing, no doubt. If you jump online on the websites like Indeed and stuff like that, Naukri, there are hundreds of thousands of jobs for digital marketing because everyone needs it. There are thousands of digital marketing agencies, there are thousands of freelancers. There's so much scope. And I guess this is just the right time. If you're just unsure of how you want your career to be, trust me, digital marketing will change everything. The best part, you can work wherever. Like today, I'm working 3 jobs and just while, making good money, and I can just be in Bali, for example, and just do the same thing. Yeah.
You
That's
actually
probably
hit
why
a
I
right
picked it.
audience here, because our audience, a lot of the people who are watching us are people who are looking for jobs. There are also people who want to help other people. There are also people who are brands themselves, who have companies, businesses themselves, like myself, who are looking for people, who are looking for knowledge on digital marketing themselves. So you've kind of hit a really awesome topic here, which I think can really help people. So if I was to send my people to you, for example, to learn digital marketing purely because I know your passion for it, I know what you can do with it, you work for, we outsource you guys to our marketing. How would you teach these people digital marketing?
Okay, so I'll tell you what the best part is. I'm actually, I was talking about this launching a business in India. It's actually, we are launching an academy for digital marketing because over the last year, I've worked with hundreds of clients in digital marketing. And I can literally, whatever question that you have in digital marketing, I can have an answer. That's how confident I am. And I know that this skill is so powerful. And best of all, it's so beautiful. Actually, you wake up to something new every day because you have a new client, you set up a beautiful campaign, you then strategize, thinking through this whole thing. It's amazing. You literally build a business, and eventually you can be a business coach as well. So that's why I just realized, I've just decided to start a business in India. So I'm definitely 100% happy to, sort of teach your students as well. Like, obviously this is, as I said, this is the next big thing. And I'm 100% confident whoever takes this course, they're gonna change themselves like completely new, because we don't only teach digital marketing, we teach website development. As a part of this, we teach communication, we teach how to convince a client, how to get someone how to increase your conversion rates, like every bit of digital marketing. So this is a life changer and it's a no-brainer.
I can see that. So, would you be open to creating a webinar just for my audience here, Synchroshakti audience, so they can come to you and learn? The reason I'm saying this is because I've seen your passion in digital marketing. I've seen what you've done for us. I've seen what you've done for your clients, but I can see the potential for our students who are looking to learn this for their own careers, but also to market themselves if they have their own businesses. So would you be open to creating a specific webinar just for our Synchroshakti audience here? Would that be okay?
Yeah, I'd love that. Actually, yeah. As I said, I can talk about digital marketing for like days, years, because that's what I love, you know. So yeah, I'd be happy to sort of do a webinar.
And okay, so I would, because I want our students to, I mean, they're obviously going to get value from you, but I also want to pay you for the work. So I'd like to sponsor, I'd like to pay for our audience to come to you guys and study digital marketing from you guys. And then if they choose to join you guys in your academy, great, but at least they'll get that introduction to marketing. Would that be okay if we set up something where I can buy the seats for them?
Oh, 100%. You're such a sweet person. Yes, absolutely yes. And yeah, we'll do this. Yeah, I'll do a webinar. I will talk through things about digital marketing that people would be amazed of. Like digital marketing is so cool actually. So yeah, I'd definitely love to. Yeah, it'll be a great webinar. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so you'll have to send me a link and then I'll put it in the description.
Yeah, okay, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll do it in about like 2 weeks. Yeah, that'd be okay.
Okay, so I just want to bring it all together here. So you started, I'm assuming at 23 is when you started your digital marketing.
Yeah, about 23. Yeah.
And then you fell in love with the idea of business, which is so amazing at your age, to start at that age and then to just say, you know what, I can do it. And then to get to a point where you're $75,000, I'm assuming this is Australian dollars, in debt. At that age, I mean, I wouldn't, if I was 20, like in my early 20s and I had $75,000 in debt, I'd not go crazy. But instead of going mad, you decide, I mean, if I hadn't known the knowledge that I have now, any regular person would go crazy. But you decided to say, okay, I'll make it. It'll just come to me. I'll find a way. And you started seeing opportunities everywhere because money is everywhere. And you flip that around, and today you're debt free and also earning 25,000 Australian dollars per month, which at your age, 29, it just blows my mind. Super congratulations. And you said this was because of two things: learning from failure and mindset, and the law of attraction being positive mental attitude, believing in yourself, your vision, visualizing. So if you were to give one piece of advice to our audience right now who are looking at becoming financially free like yourself, what would you tell them?
Okay, good one. First of all, embrace failure. It's okay if they come. Life is so beautiful. There's so many opportunities. If someone comes to me and say, look, I'm struggling to get a job, it's just because you're not doing the right things. There is so many opportunities. As I said, life isn't all about working 9 to 5, right? There are so many. You can be a freelancer, you can start a business, you can work for someone, you can do so many things. If you have a hobby, you can make money out of it as well. Now today, everyone's making money out of YouTube, out of Instagram, out of everything, right? There's so much money that around you. You look around and I bet you'll have so much money that you can make money off. Number 2, change your mindset, guys. This is just the one piece of advice I'll tell you, and which is not a big secret, but a big secret. Because if you really want to master, if you really want to change your life to the next big thing, spend the next 6 months on improving skills, whatever age you are in. You're in 20, you're in 25, 30, 35, 40, whatever. Just spend the next 6 months only on one particular skill. Trust me, you work day and night. It will change your life. And if it doesn't, right? If you work hard, if it doesn't, come to me, I'll give you free training. That's how confident I am. This tiny bit of advice of working on something with a very positive mindset. And again, I'm not saying that law of attraction will bring all the success. You do it. You keep your mind positive. And if you can visualize, write goals, set a vision board. Can you see this on my background? That's a vision board of mine. I look at it every day. It says person I am, places I want to travel, family I want, and there's on the top my $1 billion business, and there's like house I own, car I own. I set my vision board very clear. These are the things that I want to. I don't care whatever comes in between. I'm still going my way. Whatever starts, I'll just go. My mindset is my biggest strength ever, and everyone says the same thing. You change your mindset, your life will change. Write your goals every day in the morning, in the night. Don't miss. I write it as well. Where's my book? Okay, so I write it as well every day, morning and night. And these things, you may not see the result tomorrow, but trust me, within 6 months or 1 year, you'll see a complete new you. All the best.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing. And you're not from technically our world of like law of attraction and magic and miracles. You're like the business side of things. But you've taken that positive mental attitude and it's worked even for you, even though you're not like immersed in this the way that we are. It's worked even for you and worked brilliantly for you. I think that's a piece of advice that, like you said, consistency, daily, morning, evening, writing your goals. We call it scripting, whatever you want to call it. So is there any final words you want to share before we wrap up the interview?
Yeah, for sure. Guys, if you're really just not sure of where you want to, like what you want to pursue or anything, you should definitely attend this webinar. And it's definitely worth every minute. I'll probably do it for, I don't know, 60, 90 minutes. What do you think, Katka? 60, 90 minutes? Yeah, right there. Yeah. So
I mean, okay, so since we're doing it for this audience, let us know in the comments whether you would like a 60-minute webinar or you want a less than that or more than that on digital marketing. But do you want to tell them what do you feel you want to share with them in this webinar? Like you already mentioned that you teach everything from websites to communications to everything and persuasion. But in the webinar, what is the introduction to you guys?
Okay, I'll change your perspective on digital marketing. So you've been that person where, oh, WhatsApp is taking my privacy or Facebook is taking my privacy. And by the end of this, you're like, actually, they're doing the right thing. And digital marketing is not about selling a product. Everyone gets this differently, but that's wrong. Digital marketing has a complete new perspective, and there's this new age digital marketing that's completely new, and it will just blow your mind in many ways. And I promise, those 60 minutes or 90 minutes will just be the next big lesson that you will learn, because I teach it not for money, but with passion. You guys all love it.
And your passion can be felt by us all. Thank you so much, Chai, for sharing. Thank you guys for listening and take the lessons. You know, I from an entrepreneur's perspective, don't be afraid to fail, because failure is like your membership fee to success. It's like the rite of passage. That's what you learn from, and of course, you've kind of shortened your journey, your story for us, but you've had quite a huge journey when it comes to failure, but then you overcame so massively. So I think if you braced through that and came out of it, anybody can brace through failure and come out of it. So brilliant. Thank you again so much for joining me. And I love your passion. And guys, if you were inspired by Chai, 29-year-old hitting such numbers, such passion for what he's teaching. If you're interested in what he does, please, in the description, I'll put a link to a specialized webinar that Chai will do for you guys, Synchroshakti Academy audience. For those who are interested in digital marketing, go ahead and register for it. I will pay for it, so you just register. And is there like a certain number of people that you're looking at for the webinar?
I'd be open for any numbers.
Whoever feels like it.
Exactly. Why not?
Okay, so we'll decide on how exactly the finances will work out. But just guys, go register. I'm backing you up, because firstly, he's given us, you guys, a job opportunity on something, a career that you can pursue, but also for those who are like us, who know jack squat on marketing, can benefit from that knowledge. So I think it's a fabulous thing. And I work with Chai, so I know his passion is like me, like my passion for my work. He has passion like that for his work, and people who are passion, uh, follow them, just follow them. It's brilliant. So thank you so much, Chai. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank
Comment
you so
below
much.
what you took back. Please thank Chai for sharing his journey. And I look forward to seeing you guys in another interview and another video. See you all.
Thank
Bye.
you so much, Kartika. Thanks for having me, and I'll speak to you soon. I'm excited. Thank you.
Most
Thank you.
welcome. Bye.